G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR and welcome to my round 9 NBL SuperCoach review. Hope you're all well. Yes, another injury-riddled par week for my rank. 2144 is the season rank, 305 for round 9 score. Only went down 50 spots. It is a red arrow, but it's not the biggest red arrow we've seen. As I mentioned, very par from where I'm at, but that dark cloud continues to follow me. Doolittle had him as my captain, only played, I think, 7 minutes of game 2. Prather had him on field as well, brought him in last week, and he missed the second game. So just cannot take a trick when it comes to injuries, but I'll continue to keep having a crack, and I do have 200k in the bank, which should allow me to make a couple of nice moves this week. So that's it for the intro, guys. Let's have a look at how the team's going, and I'll need your help this week because there are so many trade options, it's not funny. Alrighty, let's take a quick look at the side. As I mentioned in the intro, had Doolittle as captain, scored a 31 in game 1. Things looking good. In game 2, only the 3 points. Extremely disappointing. Could be a game time decision this week as well. So if that's the case, it's going to be really tricky to know whether or not you need to trade or hold on. But hopefully we can find out sooner rather than later. The same as Casey Prather, 28 in game 1, allowed him to actually make some coin. Did not play in game 2 though. Extremely disappointing for my on-field score. What do you do with him? Again, if it's a game time decision, do you just move him on just in case? Or due to that low break even, to take that chance that he could play some minutes and just bank him for that next run of doubles? He's got a really nice run of doubles. I think it's like 2 months worth of doubles after this week. So again, interesting what to do with him. Lopez, another interesting player because New Zealand have a really nice run of doubles coming up. However, this bloke's made his cash. We saw, I think it was a score in the 40s and nice 30s score 3 weeks in a row where he looked fantastic. But the last couple of weeks, he scored a 16. I think it was either a 12 or a 14. So, oh, there you go, 14 on screen. So it's an interesting one. Do you just cash out now, even though he's got a nice run, and move up to someone more consistent, more reliable? Or do you just keep on to him, knowing that he's got this nice run coming up and hope that he can get back to that form that he showed 3-4 weeks ago? I'll probably be keeping him at this stage, but his break even, I think it's 57. Yeah, in current form, not looking great, but I'll most likely keep on to him. Henschel, he's got a break even of 33. With Bryce Cotton coming back into the side, I think his minutes will be reduced. But in saying that, I think his minutes were still okay compared to someone like a Pepper. So I'll be holding him, I think, for the next couple of weeks. Pinder, big comeback from him in game 2, was not looking good game 1. So for those that had him off field, you would have been a little bit spewing that he came back as a highly owned player. But yeah, lucky that I had him on field. If you had, for example, a Harrison, you would have been pretty disappointed with what he produced. So glad I didn't invest in Harrison last week, kept the faith with Pinder. Almanza is looking fantastic, though. I think he's really affecting Pinder at stages. Menenga with a 20, but he's injured at the moment. So I don't know what his recovery is going to be like, but he was ruled out of the New Zealand game. I'm not sure. So you've got Doolittle, Prather, and Menenga all under injury clouds, and I still don't have any info at the moment. If you do, please let me know in the comment section. That would be much appreciated. Cook came in last week. Fantastic trade, 68 points. So had him as a vice captain, if had him as captain, would have been a big difference. And, you know, someone like Bateman outscored him, but I think most people were more confident with Cook rather than Bateman. And I think that Prather out also really aided Bateman as well in that game. Another one under an injury cloud is Josh Bannon as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with him. I'm pretty sure we will get up though, but don't quote me on that. Webster had a terrible first game. I think it was like a 3, and I thought, I've got this bloke on field. I should just run with PJC. But in the second game, half decent, recovered a bit, and managed to score dead level with PJC. So it wouldn't have mattered. Either way, I would have had one of the two of them. 25. And then Glove with 18 continues to make money. And I think he's got a low break even for this week. Again, -5. So fantastic. So we're definitely keeping on to Glover. PJC has a double this week. Webster, I think I'm just going to get rid of, even though he's got the double. That break even of 46. I'm worried he won't achieve that. Cook's going to be an interesting one. Does come on to a single this week, but a really nice run of doubles after that with a pretty low break even of 14. Pinder, I don't think I'm going to get rid of. Break even of 50, but just going to hold him for the next 2 weeks. Doolittle's a big one. If he's fit, I hold. If not, I trade. Prather, such a low break even. Would love to hold him if I can. Lopez, is certainly one that I could definitely trade him. And Mananga, who knows? But there's not too many bench options, apart from maybe a Rocco, get him now before he's run a doubles, that I'm interested in. Could you go on Almanza? Maybe. But I think the obvious one's going to be Webster out. Just has not worked out, Webster. A really bad trade-in for me. And there's one really obvious one here. I'm not even going to go through the other options. And it's Bryce Cotton. So the one other option that I think you may look at is another star of the comp that's really hit some nice form there, and that's Jalen Adams. But at the moment, I think it just makes sense to go Bryce. So I'm just going to complete that trade straight out. Webster to Cotton. Now, this is considering or assuming that obviously all these guys are going to be fit to play. If 1, 2, 3 are out, it's going to make it really, really awkward for me. But at this stage, I'm really keen on bringing Bryce Cotton in. Now, this is the big decision that I've got here. Firstly, let's just assume that Doolittle, Prather, and Mananga are all fit to play. He's got a really, really nice run coming up, so I'm pretty steadfast on holding him if I can. Doolittle is a star when fit, a captaincy option, scored a 31 in that first game, so keen on holding him. And you look at Prather with a break-even of 3, very keen on holding him as well. So then you look to someone like a Cook, a Lopez, break-even of 57, break-even of 14, but has the double. You could even play him on field this week. Let's just do that, actually. So PJC needs to come in. All right, so that's how we're looking at this stage. Now, in the bank, we've got 82K. So there's still a bit that I can work with. I've got a boost as well, but I don't think this is really the week where I need to boost. At this stage, I've got 7 on the double. All on fielders on the double. Do you trust a Lopez, though? I'm really not too sure. I could trade him out with 353, and this is a bit of a risk. It's only a 1-week play, and it's real pod play. Darius Days at 224. If I do this, I've then got 130K to play with next week. Break even of 50, just on the 1 double and then some singles before he gets on a really nice run. In current form, though, it's just a massive, massive risk that I don't think that I need to take. His teammate, who I think will be a fairly big pod. Again, most Illawarra players will be because they're only on the double for the single week, but that'll be Sam Frolling. The issue with Frolling, I think, is the fact that he really lacks a ceiling. But he should be reliable for, say, 50 to 60 type score at least. The bloke that I'd really love to get, which I don't love this, but, and it could be really silly, but I've got the option of trying to make a real big move up the ranks this week and get Cooks in on the double. If I decided to do that, I'd then play him on field and then get Lopez out onto the bench, still on the double. The issue is you really want Cook, don't you? If I just, and again, I'm not dead set on doing this, but if I do this, I think I'm looking really nice for this week, but you could say it's possibly a bit too short term. All right, so Cooks would come on field there. Can even captain him. PJC, Cotton, Pinder, Cooks, Doolittle, Lopez, Prather, Mananga, Henschel, Glover. So I don't mind a look at that for now. What would happen next week? This would simply be a 1-week loan, Cooks. I would bring in, I think, Harrison for Cooks at 375. I think Harrison's got a pretty high break even. So he's at 301 with a 37 on a single. So even if he hits a 40, he'll still be staying around the 300k mark. Cooks, 67 for a break even. I think he scored really well against Cairns last time. I'll have around, let's just say 70k up my sleeve, plus 20. So let's just say around 90k if all things go well. Then I'll be able to bring in potentially Cook for Glover even next week, along with Pinder for Cooks. So I've definitely got some options. I just don't love the fact that he's a 1 week rental. I do love the fact that I could be making a real pod play and just trying to smash up the weeks just for this week. The week after, I'm still looking good for doubles because Prather comes on, New Zealand, Perth. So yeah, I think I can really afford to make this 1 week play. I've also got the boost as well. When Perth come off their doubles, I may even look to boost then. I could even wait for a Cook. You know, you'd hope that Cotton would make some decent cash, and then you could even go to a Cook from there. Davis is one that, do you try to anti-pot him and just hope that he has one bad week so we can start to come down before those doubles? Possibly. Don't know about suspensions and all the rest there. Trez, no idea what's going to happen there. So this is probably how I run for now. Many other options. Look, if Bannon gets up, you could potentially look to go him. Maybe forced into a straight Doolittle for Cook's trade if he's not available. Do I try to keep on to Prather? Cook instead of Prather, or both of them? A lot of questions here, not a lot of answers at the moment because I just don't know who's going to be available. So I'm going to leave it there for now, guys. Captain's the only other discussion to have. Geez, what will it? So if I optimize here, what's that doing? So that's giving me Cooks as captain, PJC vice captain. How's that? So Cotton not even in the captaincy plans there. So they play Brisbane and New Zealand. New Zealand obviously played Perth and Illawarra. Cooks plays Cairns and Melbourne. Bit to think about when it comes to the captains. Now, I may even do an updated trade video later on the week, maybe the night before the first game, if we get any injury news. If we don't, I may leave it at this and come game time, make some last minute decisions there. But I will need to have a couple of extra plans up the sleeve just in case I can't do what I'm currently doing at the moment. So that is it for now, guys. Hope that well, as I said, good luck for this week. And if you are interested, I just uploaded my updated BBL team reveal version 2. So if you're a BBL player, feel free to check that out. And I think that'll be starting in a few weeks. Very much looking forward to that as well. But all the best, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.